Good morning, Baldwin Beauty Schools. Welcome to your Salon Ecology chapter of your theory lesson for Baldwin Beauty Schools. Today is a beautiful day. I'm happy to be here again with you. It's been a little while. I'm going to say hello to everyone on chat. Hi, Kayla. First one, of course, you would be the first one. Hello, y'all. It's good to be back. Good morning, Wendy. I'm saying good morning to the students right now. Hello. Hello, Maribello. Damaya. That's right. Good, Kayla. Because getting up early, not to just be at school, but to be online too, is very important. So hopefully you guys are getting up at an early enough time to get settled in so that you can get the lesson. Um, and I haven't been on a live in a long time. I've been in the building, so it's good to see a lot of you again. Armenia, hi Olivia, Ashley Dukes, Lauren Garbedian, Midian, Larissa. All right, Ashley. Yes, nice to see you too, sweetheart. Lauren, Demai. Oh, yes, Demai's picture is cute. I love her picture. I can't wait to meet you, girl. I met your mom. She came and she got, I think, a t-shirt for you. She's awesome. So, yeah. All right, so you guys know what to do. Give you a little chance. I'm right on time, right on schedule to chime in for your grade. So we are doing Salon Ecology, so I hope you have a chance to grab pen and paper. And there will be notes and there will be assignments. You guys are acclimated to the distance learning. Hopefully it's helping out the ones that are still not sure about coming into the building. But I can tell you, because I was there all week last week, it is not as scary as you think it is. So whenever you guys feel like you are comfortable enough to return to school, please do. Of course, I want to welcome our brand new students. Reagan, there she is. Reagan Allen. Hi, Reagan. We have 3 new babies, actually. And we have Molly Roberts, Mercedes Perez, and Reagan Allen. And we want to welcome them to the Baldwin family of wonderful, wonderful students. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. All of you. It's beautiful outside. If you get a chance to go outside while it's not too hot, please do so. My name is Kimberly Belanger. Let me introduce myself to a lot of the new students. I am an instructor at the North and South, but South mostly. You'll probably see me North. Wendy likes to switch me up a little bit. I have been with Baldwin for 20 years. I stopped counting at 20, but it's been a little more than that. And I love my job to be able to teach. You'll find that our staff and teachers are very passionate about what they do. I'm glad you chose this profession. It's a very good profession to be in, and you chose the right school. So thank you for choosing us, and we love you all. Alexia Lazo, Chloe. Hi, Chloe. Monica, Victoria Pierce. I miss y'all. Y'all need to come to school so I can look at y'all's faces. Yes. Okay. So it's 9:03. I'm impatient, so I'm going to give you guys a few more seconds to clock in because we got a lot to go over today. Mary Helen, hi. Hi, Chloe. You need to come back to school. I miss y'all. Morgan. Oh. So hopefully you guys have had a restful weekend. I will be back at South Campus tomorrow. And those of you that are returning to the campus next week for haircutting, make sure you bring all of your supplies. It's an intense, very, very serious part of your training, so treat it as such. Don't be scared, have fun, make mistakes, and learn all you can. That's my advice to you. Hi, Morgan. There's Chandler. Oh, Lana. Lana's doing roll call for me. Alana Ludwig is our student instructor, or excuse me, student instructor S at the South Campus. So you'll see her a lot in her name as well. All right. Seconds over. Let's go. My little setup. Y'all know how I do. All y'all's old school students and the new school students. I have my little system that works for me. Hopefully, it works for you. I like to give notes and write notes and discuss as I go. And I kind of do it fast. So if I'm moving too fast or talking too quickly or you don't understand something, please feel free to comment in the live chat, but I have to concentrate on the board. So I'll try to look at the live chat at the same time. And hopefully you guys have pen and paper by now. If not, go get it. You can always rewind, okay? So the chapter that we are into or studying right now is Salon Ecology. And the reason why, again, it's because not only just because of the pandemic, but because we need to really touch on this subject often, especially going forward with our duties as hairstylists, nail techs, estheticians. We have to be socially conscious of health conditions more so now than ever. Bacteria infecting people, we have to wear masks and gloves. We have to make sure that we're following all of the standards of ecology in a salon setting. So if you're a nail tech, if you're an esthetician, if you're a cosmetology student, this is going to pertain to you. All right. So don't feel like you have to log off. I believe that salon ecology is something that's not discussed enough because so many people are unaware of how important it is. So hopefully I can make it more important for you after this lesson. Okay, so we're gonna have salon ecology and then we're gonna talk about three things from this 9 to 10 live. We're gonna talk about infection control, bacteria, and then the classes of bacteria. All right, and then you're gonna log off, you're gonna get an assignment, you're gonna complete that assignment, and you're gonna turn in all of your assignments to the Baldwin Beauty School's assignment email that is listed in your email. All right, so we're going to talk about the types of ways that we can improve our salon ecology, and we're going to talk about infection control first. All right, and the important thing about infection control now, especially, is that you have to do it whether you want to or not, because now there's an infection out there, a bacteria out there. It's a superhero that's going to infect you, not only infect you, but invade your body and cause you to be ill, possibly die. So infection control is the number one thing. The first defense to infection control is washing your hands. Cannot emphasize that enough, because washing your hands is key to maintaining good infection control. All right. So if you guys want to write that somewhere. And then we're going to talk about bacteria and then the classes of bacteria. So let's talk about infection control. What type of infection control is used in salons? All right. We use disinfectants. Okay, disinfectants, they're chemical products. I'll write that definition. These are chemical products that destroy bacteria. All right, so we are required by law by OSHA, by EPA, to have these disinfectants on hand in every school, in every salon, in every nail shop. And there are different types. Okay, we have virucidals, pseudomonacidals, we have all these different types that kill certain disease or bacteria, because not all disinfectants work for every type of bacteria. But these products that we use in the salon have to destroy a certain type of bacteria by law, and those bacteria are fungi, okay, number one's found on fingernails, toes, viruses, what else? Bacteria. Bacteria are also called microorganisms. Now, we'll talk about the good and bad bacteria, but this is the, bloodborne pathogens, viruses, all of that. So each disinfectant or each one that we use for infection control has a number. It's an efficacy number. It's just a general number that we should have labeled on your bottle. So when we get back to the school, we need to make sure that we find the number for barbicide. Each one has a different number given. And we have to label our bottles so that we know that that specific bottle contains a disinfectant that can destroy certain types of bacteria. Okay, just the EPA registers all types of disinfectants sold in the USA. So that's what the Environmental Protection Agency. All right, and it has to be able to destroy these on surfaces, not on the skin. So if you're gonna get technical, we have hand gel sanitizer, but we have to be able to destroy certain bacteria because it lingers longer on surfaces in the skin. We have hand gel sanitizer, we have soap and water, we have all kinds of infection control for the skin, but we're talking about surfaces right now. Feel free to chime in. I like to look at you. That's okay, Mallory. All right, don't y'all be having whole conversations on my live. Y'all need to be taking notes because there will be a quiz over this. Y'all already know how we do it. Worksheets and the like. And if you're a little bit late, no worries. Just try to keep up. We're doing Salon Ecology. I'm going to grab another marker because that one is out of ink. Okay, so we talked about disinfectants. There are two types of disinfectants. I'm going to let you guys see what they are. That's what we use in the salon or spa. Do you guys know what they are just from reading your books? There are two types that we use in the salon, in the beauty schools. Okay, I'm going to write the first one down. These are hospital grade disinfectants. Okay, the first one is hospital grade. What that means is this type of disinfectant is more effective for cleaning blood and bodily fluids. It kills more germs that way. Okay, so you can put, because sometimes you might nick someone after doing a haircut. And in hospitals, there's often contact with bodily fluids. Okay, so you need a type of disinfectant that's going to kill the bacteria that comes with that type of exposure. Yes, infection is very, very, very big deal nowadays because of so many people that are going home with infections after surgery. Elderly people that are coming up with infections out of nowhere. So Salon Ecology is very important. So the first type is your hospital grade, and they used to call it a hospital grade solution. That takes care of the bloodborne bodily fluids. They control the spread of disease, okay, for those types. The next one, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that disinfectants up. You need a tuberculocidal disinfectant. Okay, this one gets rid of tuberculosis, kills the bacteria that causes tuberculosis. This is bacteria that's transmitted through coughing or sneezing. Let me explain why this is a different type. Sometimes when you cough or sneeze, the saliva that expels is coated by a sticky substance like mucus. Sometimes bacteria will attach to that mucus. So that allows that particular form of liquid or body excretion to stay on a surface longer. It's kind of like spitting. That's why they say you should never spit in public, because that's gross. Because somebody might accidentally, put their hand in it. So it's not just about killing one type of bacteria. It's about killing different types of bacteria. That's why it's important that we practice salon ecology. So tuberculocidal, and then you'll see bactericidal, and we'll go over that one too. Kills bacteria. There's lots of bacteria that are pathogenic. I'm going to go over the difference between pathogenic and non-pathogenic. Then you have your pseudomonacidals, and then those are the ones that kill germs that causes ear infection and rashes. So there's different types of disinfectants out there. You have to know the efficacy and how to mix them, because most of them come concentrated. They don't come pre-mixed, and so you have to read the directions. But they each have a number, and that's what we use in order to keep diseases from spreading from our clients to ourselves, or from ourselves to our clients. All right. I'm going to erase. I'm going too fast. I'll constantly check the chat. All right, so the state regulatory agencies that govern how we use these products or tell us what the efficacy or what's in them, and you're going to need to know this for your next assignment. One is OSHA, and the other is EPA. You're going to tell me what OSHA stands for. Go ahead and type that in the live chat. I want to see how smart you guys are. OSHA, what does it stand for? Go ahead and do EPA. I know you guys already know that one. So OSHA stands for what? Let me see. OSHA. I'll wait for somebody to give me the right answer. What is OSHA? Because you're going to have an assignment. Occupational Safety and Hazard Association. Yay! All right. Administration, Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Oh, we have association and administration. We got a battle going on. Which one is it? Come on, somebody break the tie. Oh, come on, y'all. Is it association or administration? Come on. Occupational Safety and Health Yes, Reagan. All right. They're right. Administration, you guys. It's not association. Okay. Administration. Chloe's yelling at. All right. Good job, Chloe. All right. Let's do EPA. EPA is. This is an easy one. You guys should all know this. EPA. Come on. That's what I used to call it because I didn't know what it stood for a long time. EPA. I'm still waiting. Okay. Well, nobody knows what EPA stands for. Maybe my computer's slow. I'm going to give you the first word. Yay! Environmental. These are the people that govern the laws of how we conduct our salon ecology. They give us the bacterial sides, they give us all of that information, they let us know what's in it. Okay, and the difference between laws and rules, because you have to follow both, the difference between a law, the law determines what each license is allowed, or the holder of the license is allowed to do. So your laws determine on an individual basis if you're allowed to use an EPA that has a lower spectrum of killing certain bacteria. The rules determine how the law is applied. So you have to follow both. So if they tell you that you need a hospital grade disinfectant solution in your salon because you have a spa and you come in contact with more blood and bodily fluids, then you have to, whether it's expensive to buy or not. Okay? Very good. I'm gonna erase that because I write pretty big. So the state regulatory agencies what these people do, these people protect the salon and the spa professionals and the consumers. So know your agencies within your state so that you can know the rules to each one. Okay, so I'm just going to write, this is what they do. Exist to protect salons, consumers, this is making sure you follow all protocol. It doesn't matter if you're worried about your clients more than yourself because you need to be worried about both equally. If I cut someone accidentally, I need to not only worry about whether that person has a bloodborne pathogen, but I need to worry about what have I done as damage to that particular person's scalp or skin or nail. Okay, nail techs, you guys have to do this because it's imperative because you come in such close contact with all of the parts of the hand and arm that are different from hair, where hair is an extension of people, but you guys are in contact with non-living tissue, living tissue. So you have to be careful if you nip someone's cuticles and you make them bleed, that you have the right styptic powder, you have the right antiseptic, you have the right protective measures to make sure that infection is not spread. And that's one of the things that's going to be looked at is the infection control. All right. Next. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is bacteria. This is why we do this. This is going to be the gross part of this lesson because sometimes bacteria, you don't really see it. So when I learned about bacteria and all the types of bacteria out there, I was grossed out. And some people don't see it, but they see it. Like bacteria is there. It's a microorganism that you can only see under a microscope, but we don't have microscopes in beauty school. So we have to just assume bacteria is there. And there are two types of bacteria. But let's talk about bacteria. The definition, bacteria is a one-celled microorganism and micro just means unable to see with the naked eye. Organism, living, plant and animal. Sorry about my writing. One cell microorganism that have both plant and animal characteristics. Micro can only be seen through a microscope. Two types of bacteria. There's pathogenic bacteria and there's non-pathogenic bacteria. I'll let you write that. I write really big so you guys can see. So you can just put two types in front of that. Non-pathogenic bacteria, pathogenic bacteria. Two types that we deal with. Which one is the worst? Pathogenic or non-pathogenic? Wonder if you guys know. Anyways, while you answer in the live chat, remember, a participation grade also includes participation in live chat. So which bacteria is harmful, pathogenic or non-pathogenic? Yes, pathogenic. Very good. Very smart people I have today. Okay, so we're going to talk about pathogenic bacteria first because it's actually more important at this day and age, in this particular stage in our lives right now. Pathogenic bacteria is considered harmful to us. It causes disease. Okay. Infection. And viruses in humans. And a lot of times people don't realize the importance of Salon Ecology and cleaning your tools and your implements after each client and making sure you wipe down your chair after you do a shampoo and disinfect the shampoo bowl. The harmful bacteria is everywhere, okay? 70% of our bacteria is non-harmful, it's non-pathogenic, but 30% is a pretty big number that can still make you sick. And it comes from us, okay? It doesn't come from, the dirt. it comes from us because we have to make sure that we are not spreading. And that's how COVID-19 was able to take a hold on us, is because of the spread, right? If we knew who to quarantine, we could quarantine those people and they wouldn't spread it. But we spread a lot of bacteria to each other on a daily basis. All right, so pathogenic bacteria, the bad ones. Just so you can remember, you can put a frowny face on that one. It's the bad bacteria. Then you have non-pathogenic bacteria. Non meaning no. Non-pathogenic bacteria is the bacteria that is harmless. Some of it is actually helpful, like the bacteria that's naturally found in your gut, the probiotics in yogurt. It's a bacteria that is helpful. These are harmless organisms that perform useful functions. Harmless organisms that may perform useful functions. Sometimes the ones in your gut help break down food. They protect against infection. They stimulate the immune system. So these are natural organisms that are actually harmless, some of them helpful. I guess this is the term when people say, oh, if you have a baby, don't always run and wash off, that binky when it hits the floor. Non-pathogenic bacteria, but there's bacteria everywhere. Pathogenic. All right. So we're going to go on to infection control now. I know we're going to continue bacteria. We're going to talk about the classes of bacteria. So we've talked about the two types. Now there are certain classes of bacteria that you need to know, and I'm going to write those down. Classes of bacteria are going to include several groups. I'm just going to give you the names of them. The first one is called cocci, and this is a round-shaped bacteria that can appear singly or in groups. So you're just going to write round shape. Can appear singly or in groups. So if I had to draw them, I would draw like a little, and then maybe one little single one over there. Can appear singly, but it's round. Okay, cocci has 3 separate groups. There's Staphylococci, Streptococcus, and Diplococci. All right, and we're going to talk about all 3. But I'm going to write big enough for you guys to see. So I'm going to erase. We're talking about cocci. And just so you know, while you're writing, just a little bit of information. Cocci is the virus or the bacteria that causes strep throat, pneumonia, um, otitis media, which is swimmer's ear. It's like the bacteria that's in the water. I used to get it when I was a kid all the time. We get in my ear, just causing inflammation. Cocci also causes meningitis. And for those of us that have children, meningitis is like the worst bacterial infection your child can get because it can kill them. So it's a really, really serious thing to make sure that you guys, and just so you don't, I mean, pass this on to people with strep throat, you guys need to make sure that you quarantine yourself. And strep throat, you guys know the symptoms of it's a bacterial infection. Sometimes you'll have pustules on the back of your throat. It's inflamed. It hurts to swallow or cough. It's just it's a bad infection to have. Um, so that's the cocci. And now we're going to go into the three groups of cocci. You're going to see that last name at the end. The first one is Staphylococcus. We hear it staph. All right. This is a pus-forming bacteria that grows in clusters. They cause abscesses. I don't know if you guys ever had an abscess. Boils, pustules. Bacteria basically trapped under the skin. Sometimes it can cause pimples. It's an inflammation of the skin brought on by dirty fingernails. So nail techs, estheticians, this is for you. You guys have to make sure that before you perform a nail service or before you give a pedicure or before you do someone's facial or extractions that your nails, whether you wear dipped nails, acrylics, or natural, are free of bacteria because this is how it's spread most often. All right? It is a bacteria that's found in children. I've seen it a lot more because parents aren't teaching little bitty kids how to wash their hands often enough. So they're getting those bacterial infections of the skin. So Staphylococcus C. It's pronounced cock C, not cock. All right, the next one is Streptococcus. Streptococcus is pus-forming bacteria arranged in curved lines. Okay. It resembles a string of beads, if you will. These cause strep throat, blood poisoning, so think about it. Starts off as a bacteria that gets in your mouth, gets through your nose, It just attaches itself. And it's found on a surface, you guys. It's on a straw. It's on the lip of a cup after you drink after someone that's sick. So easy to contract strep. And it will keep you down for about 2 weeks. Okay? Pathogenic. Y'all are taking notes. Good. All right? The last one. Am I going too fast, everyone? Hopefully I'm not. Disinfectants is a spherical bacteria. Spherical bacteria that grows in pairs. Di means two. So if I had to do like sphere, maybe like that, I don't know. It's a little wormy. Maybe it means circular. I don't know. Y'all are gonna have to draw this for one of your assignments. So you're gonna have to draw a cocci, Spore, all these little bacteria. Okay, so if you looked at a surface under a microscope and all of these bacteria represent a different strain of a disease that you could get, how important would it be for you to clean that surface if you knew that one caused pneumonia, and that one caused pink eye, and that one caused strep? You would be real vigilant about cleaning your surface, right? So I want you guys to draw that little thing just so you can give yourself a reminder. Even though you can't see bacteria, they are everywhere. And they are always willing to enter your body without permission unless you open the door. It's like a vampire. You can't clean your house unless you invite them in. All right? So those of you that have, and I'm not calling anybody out, those of you that have poor hygiene practices, or maybe you have children that do, or a spouse that does, you got to make sure that they understand that you are in a position because of your field of work to infect other people if they're not being clean with all of the stuff that can happen. All right, so those are the classes of bacteria. Oh, actually, we're not done. Sorry. We're going to keep going. We've got a couple more. Next one is Bacilli, and this is a short rod-shaped bacteria. Okay, rod-shaped would be like a little shape like that. That's not a big one, but maybe you can draw better. Rod-shaped, okay? Tetanus, those of you that are younger, you can look this up, Google it. Tetanus is a bacterial infection that can cause a lot of damage to tuberculosis. A long time ago, stylists had to have the patch test for tuberculosis in order to work in the salon. And that's just a little skin test where they prick you with a needle and inject you with this something to make sure you didn't have a reaction to it. Okay, very, very, very contagious disease, tuberculosis. A lot of people who are in jail end up having it. It's a bacterial infection. Make sure that when you're cleaning your implements, don't underestimate the power of the bacteria that's on that surface. Okay. The next one is Sporilla. Have that one. Sporilla, you can already see spiral. Again, y'all are gonna have to draw these or see visions of them, or Google them or look them up. Sporilla is a spiral shape. Bacteria. A spiral-shaped bacteria, it causes syphilis. Lyme disease. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Lyme disease, but Lyme disease is a tick. You get them from ticks. It's a tick-borne illness that causes like a flu-like symptom. You get rashes, you have joint pain, your body starts to ache. A lot of people didn't realize what it was until a lot of people started coming down with it, but it's bacteria. Syphilis, you guys know it's a sexually transmitted disease. So what that means is you can get syphilis from sexual contact of any kind. It's a chronic bacterial disease. It is one of those diseases that can lie dormant in your system and start off as something that you don't know what it is. So the first stage, there's 3 stages of syphilis, is a painless sore on the genitals or the rectum or inside the mouth. And then after that goes away, there's a rash that accompanies it. And then after you have it for a long, long time, I don't know, a lot of older people die from it, but it can cause brain damage, nerve damage. It's a truly, truly deadly disease that now when you do your blood work, your annual blood work, they actually test you for it. So I didn't realize that until I saw my results and they tested me for it. And so that's one of those things that you don't want to contract, but it's out there, and it's caused by this specific Sporilla little bacteria that could be lying on a surface or in someone's mouth when you kiss them. So make sure that you're monogamous and you stay faithful to your partners. Okay, let's talk about. Do I have time? Ooh, I'm going slow. Winnie told me to slow it down. Am I slow enough for you, Winnie? I'm trying to slow it down so I have 3 hours. I got 3 hours with you guys today, so I'm trying to slow it down. Hope I'm not boring you guys. Bacterial growth and reproduction. So here's the thing, bacteria, living organism, right? Just like you and me. So it has to grow, feed, and reproduce just like us. It has 2 stages, an active stage and an inactive stage, okay? Just like we do. Our active stage is when we're up and around and we're consuming food. Our inactive stage is when we're sleeping, recharging. But for bacteria, it's different. When a bacteria is in an inactive stage or a spore-forming stage, it is sometimes more deadly and harder to rid from a surface. So we're going to talk about the active stage. And all you have to write, the active stage of bacteria is going to be when they grow, reproduce, and multiply. Conditions must be favorable for this to happen because they can't grow and reproduce on a surface that's clean or that's disinfected. Okay? So the conditions that bacteria love to live in, you guys know, what are they? Warm, dark, damp, lots of foot fungus in tennis shoes, dirty. All of these places are breeding ground for bacteria. A place that's not been sanitized, a trash can that hasn't been emptied, a surface that hasn't been disinfected, not just wiped down with soap and water, because that's cleaning. You're going to learn about that in the live later this afternoon. But these are the conditions that bacteria reproduce and grow. And the more they get of that, the faster they grow. I don't know if this is true, but I've heard or seen on TV that the COVID-19 virus can live on a surface for 4 hours. That in a non-disinfectant surface for 4 hours. So there you go. All right. So that is the active stage. The inactive stage is the second stage. It's also called the spore-forming stage. This is when the bacteria coat themselves in a wax-like outer shell. And they can withstand long periods of not eating, not moving around, not reproducing. They just house themselves in that shell. And disinfectants, antiseptics, pseudomonacidals, tuberculocidals, any type of EPA solution will not kill a spore-forming bacteria. The only thing that can kill it is sterilization, which is one of the 3 steps to contamination. Give you guys a chance to write that down. So remember when we talked about our disinfectants, right? Tuberculocidal, bactericidal, fungicidal. If you look at all of those types of disinfectants and you think about the spore-forming bacteria, all right? So for a bacteria to remain on a surface and become spore-forming, that means that bacteria has been on that surface for a prolonged amount of time. The only thing that can shatter that wax-like outer shell is heat and water. Hence the term wax-like. All right, let's talk about the last thing, and that's disease. We're going to talk about why it's important. Again, this is the last of the notes. We're almost done. Talk about disease, disorders, viruses. There's a difference between disease and viruses. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about protection against them all the time in school. You're going to hear us preach and preach and preach and preach about infectious disease and pathogenic bacteria and fungus, and you're going to learn about parasites later on today. It's just so important that you guys remember how sanitation is key. And that's going to start with hand washing. People, I know a lot of people that don't wash their hands. I hate to call them out. I know a lot of people who don't teach their kids to wash their hands. Their kids don't wash their hands. And diseases spread from one person to another. When the disease is spread, it's considered contagious. And the only way, I'm spelling this right. And the only way we can combat that is to not spread it. It's also communicable. It's a disease that's communicable. For example, the cold and flu can be easily spread if you sneeze on someone. Ringworm, pink eye. We don't allow certain students to have these disorders or diseases, but we also don't want to service clients with it, and we don't want to diagnose or treat any disease, okay? But here's how a lot of germs or bacteria is spread, and this is what causes disease. Pink eye is a bacterial infection, all right, caused by a dirty hand, dirty fingers rubbing your eye, all right? That's going to be something that you're going to require an oral antibiotic or maybe even a topical one to put in your eye for 2 weeks so that it goes away. It won't just go away on its own. And you can spread it to other people, all right? So let's talk about how it's spread, how it's communicable. And I want you guys to make sure that you really, if you don't learn anything else today, you learn this because you don't think about it, all right? The first, we're going to talk about proper hand washing later on today. First and foremost, and that's us because we got our hands on people all day, dirty hands, infected nails, or dirty nails. People who don't properly clean under the free edge and they scratch their skin or someone else's skin. All right? Another one, contaminated implements. I'm just going to put tools because that could be a comb, shear, a lancet, something that's contaminated that you did not properly disinfect and clean that you stored back in your tools and materials that's cross-contamination. How about this one? Open sores. Sometimes you can't see them on a scalp. Cosmetologist, if someone has an open sore, you're not going to see that unless you do a scalp analysis. Someone who has open sores on their hands or face should not get a service. Doesn't matter what the cause of the sore is, it's an open wound. My personal favorite, thank God for the mask. This is why we're all having to wear masks. You guys can see this. That's my G. Uncovered coughing and sneezing. How many people have you seen just sneeze, just spray it? Okay? And maybe you're one of those people that talk and you have a lot of saliva in your mouth and you spit every now and then. Okay? That's what the masks are for. People who don't cover their sneezes and coughs, you have my permission to let them know when they're in the building. Please cover your mouth. Hopefully they'll have a mask on. If they don't, tell them. All right? Another ways, this is even if it's on the ground, stop doing it. Spitting in public, gross, and it's unbecoming. And then a blood spill. Blood spill, nicking someone on the cuticle or nicking their ear when you're doing a haircut. That's how diseases spread. That's how bacteria spread. That's how viruses are spread. So please make sure you're following your Salon Ecology to the letter every day, even when no one's watching. Okay, and the first line of defense of infection control is washing your hands. Washing those little hands. Ooh, it's 10 straight up. All right. So important. Reagan says, I'm already a germaphobe. This is making it worse. Good, Reagan. That way, you will never, ever get cross-contaminated with. I'm talking about moist, gross, yes. Dirty, dark, damp places. So that means in a bin full of towels that have been sitting there for 2 weeks. You reach in there without a gloved hand. When a customer coughs, Victoria Pierce in their hand, and they use that hand to get your money. If somebody gets out of line with you that way, be sure to correct their behavior on that. But some people are just automatically inclined to do that. Like, I don't shake hands anymore for that reason. Because I know that sometimes people who want to shake your hand have sneezed and coughed in their hands, even with a mask on, or they rub their eyes, or they've done something, untoward with their fingers. Make sure that you guys are sanitizing all of your supplies, all of your implements before and after each use. It's always good to wear a mask. Have hand gel sanitizer on your stations. Yes, ew is good. I'm glad I was able to gross you out. All right. So what I'd like to do now is get a final roll call. You guys can log out and you're going to be able to get your notes together. The next assignment may be questions, it may be something else. Check your emails. And I will see you back at 12 to 1 today. So please tune in. Hopefully you guys had a nice little disgusting morning with me. Yes. And you guys make sure that when you take your kids swimming, that the bacteria or the pool doesn't have a lot of bacteria, because sometimes that swimmer's ear bacteria that gets in the ear, it's hard to treat that. So, yes. All right. Yes, you're welcome, Kayla. Bye, you guys. Sam, bye, Reagan. Bye, Victoria, and you're so welcome. Thank you, Monica. Hopefully I didn't kill y'all with notes too much, but it's always good to learn. So I'm going to watch you guys log out. Actually, I'm going to sign off. All right. See you guys later.